Greetings, grade 9. In the last lesson, you learnt that every economy, when it tries to operate, it faces a problem, an economic problem, that is, that the wants are unlimited, but the resources to fulfill the wants are limited. So therefore, this particular problem leads on for every economy to question three very important things, that is, what to produce, and the second is how to produce, and the third is for whom to produce. Now, in the modern economies, at the present time, economies also have to ask themselves three other questions. One is, they still need to know whether the resources or the raw materials that they have is being utilized in the most efficient manner or not. Because, as we all know, the resources are limited, wants are unlimited, so therefore whatever resources are lying with the economy must be utilized in the most efficient manner possible. So therefore, the fourth problem of many modern economies is the efficient use of resources. Every economy tries to ensure that resources are used in such a way that it brings the maximum benefit to the economy. This means that the resources are used in such a way that there are no other way in which the resources could have been allocated to improve the condition of the economy. Let me illustrate this with a very simple example. Imagine that you are the captain of a cricket team and that your cricket team is going to play a tournament, and you have placed the batting and the fielding order in such a way that you feel is the best and the most efficient use of your team. Now, if you go and play the match and you win, start winning the matches, and let's say in the next match you want to do a little experiment and you rearrange your team, your batting order and also your fielding order. Now, in case you lose the match, you come to understand that the batting order, the previous batting and the fielding order was the best one, and you will keep on utilizing the previous batting and the fielding order. So that is known as the best way of organizing your cricket team. In the same way, when an economy tries to use its resources, it tries to use its resources in such a way that it can produce the maximum with the given amount of resources. And when it realizes that there is no other better way of reorganizing the resources, they come to understand that that particular way of organizing the resources was the most efficient and the best way of utilizing your resources. So therefore we say that the resources are used in such a way that there are no other way in which the resources could have been allocated to improve the condition of the economy. Now, another problem that every modern economy will also face is to see that economic growth is taking place. Because we know that in every economy, the population does not stay the same. It increases year after year. So therefore, another important problem that every economy tries to overcome is to see that growth is taking place in terms of its total production of goods and services. So in every year, the economy has to see that the total amount of goods and services that are getting produced are increasing year after year after year. But how do we know that economic growth is taking place? Economic growth is said to have taken place when the real per capita in the country has increased on a year-to-year basis. Now, what is real per capita income? Real per capita income is the total national income or the total production calculated in money terms divided by the population of the country. It means how much one person in a country is getting in terms of the goods and services that are produced. It means the amount of goods and services per person. In other words, we can also say it means income per person. Now, not only do we look at the income per person, but we also look at the real income per person, because there are two types of income. One is a real income and one is your money income. And money income is seen only in terms of money. It means how much of money that you can have with you. Imagine that you have 1,000 rupees of pocket money every month. That is your money income. But every month with that 1,000 rupees, you end up buying 10 books worth 100 rupees each. So your real income is 100 books. So now imagine that your money income has increased. So money income increased to 2,000 rupees in terms of your pocket money. So we can say that previously my money income was 1,000 rupees and right now my money income has become 2,000 rupees. So with that previous money income, I used to buy 100 books. So your real income is 100 books. Now imagine that the books, prices of the books have also increased. It has become 200 rupees per book. So which means that with your income of 2,000 rupees, you can now buy only 100 books. So therefore, even though your money income may have increased from 1,000 rupees to 2,000 rupees, the amount of books that you are able to buy has remained the same because the prices have increased. So your real income has not changed. It has stayed the same. So real income is the income in terms of what it can buy. So once more, money income is the income in terms of money. Real income is the income in terms of what your income can buy. So therefore, we always look at growth in terms of real money income. And growth is supposed to have taken place in a country when the real income per person or the real per capita income increases on a yearly basis. Apart from the problem of efficient use of resources and economic growth, every economy will also want development to take place in the economy. So therefore, the third thing that every economy will try to bring in is known a problem of economic development. The problem of economic development is the problem of bringing in the economic growth along with the structural changes that removes inequalities, eradicates poverty, improves the health and the quality of life. When we say that economic development has taken place, we mean to say that the people living, the citizens living in the country enjoy a better and better quality of life on a year-to-year basis on the basis of improvement in health services, improvement in the availability of sanitation, education, availability of internet, connectivity, telephone lines, in terms of the overall well-being of the citizens. Now, the overall well-being of the citizens rely on many, many more things simply on income. Your income does not guarantee your well-being of life. Your well-being of life depends on quality of life. It depends on your environment, whether your pollution in the environment is good, clean. It depends on whether your life there is satisfaction in your life, whether justice, whether law and order is prevailing in your economy, in your country, whether employment is available to all, whether everyone is happy, positive, and many, many more things depend and determine the quality of life in an economy. So therefore, development means much more than economic growth. Development means economic growth plus the structural changes that are taking place in the economy to see that every citizen is feeling a better sense of well-being on a year-to-year basis. So therefore, when we compare economic growth and economic development, we know that economic growth is simply an increase in the real per capita income, while economic development is the improvement in the country's socio-economic structures like the justice system, the law, the political system, the structure of the income distribution. If all of that is improving, we know that economic development is taking place. Secondly, economic growth is simply a quantitative. That means it is looking at only the total amount of goods and services in the economy. But economic development is a qualitative improvement. It means that we are looking at the quality of life in the economy. And the third very important difference is that it is very much easy to improve economic growth by simply increasing the production of goods and services. But for economic development, much, much more effort, planning is required for an economy. Fourthly, the economic growth does not require too much of government intervention. If the factories are allowed to produce larger and larger quantities, economic growth takes place very easily. But economic development requires a very active government intervention. Also, economic growth is measured very simply only in terms of production and income. But to measure economic development, we require many non-economic indicators like life expectancy, health. We look at the amount of internet connectivity that people have, the amount of roads getting built, employment level, and many, many more factors are looked into when we compare economic development. So this ends our lesson on the other three very important problem of an economy, and I reiterate and I re-emphasize once more that economies, apart from only looking at what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, are also actively seeing that whether the resources are used efficiently or not, and whether the growth or the number of goods and services in an economy is growing on a year-to-year basis or not, whether development in an economy is taking place or not.